Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to 7 and 7, Day 2, Skill 2. This skill is the one that gives people fits. I call it the gateway skill because if you don't figure this out, you don't really have a chance. I mean, you either get people to take a look and you're successful in them taking a look, or you don't. And if they take a look, you've got a chance to be able to educate them as to what it is that we do. But I had this preconception when I first got involved in network marketing that that people would at least want to look. They might have their preconceptions, but they at least look. I was really wrong. And I think some of it comes from network marketing's past and sometimes in the present. Everybody talks in network marketing language, and everybody can see it coming a mile away. And people, our profession has been over-exaggerated for so long that we make it sound too good to be true. Come take a look at this thing, and everybody's making money, and it's super easy and super fast and super cheap to get involved. And with the over-exaggeration, it begs the question, well, what do you need me for if it's so great? So I went to some of my friends, amateurish, when I first started, and I said, hey, you need to come check this out. Let's go build a business. And they're like, I just want to make enough money to get to the weekend. And then I talked to successful people. Hey, you need to check this out. And people are like, kid, you had 18 jobs by the time you're 23 years old. Why would I follow you anywhere? So I was like, shoot. I tried to talk to super successful people, and that was abysmal failure. I talked to people I knew. I talked to people who I didn't know very well. I tried it all. I mean, the thing that happened for me, I had an evolution when it came to my inviting to what? Okay? The evolution was, first I was inviting them to meet with me and hear from me about my product or my opportunity. First party, I'm going to give you the information so you can make a decision. There's a big problem with that. Big, huge problem is I didn't have credibility. I didn't have success. I didn't have credibility. I wasn't powerful, influential. I wasn't a leader. I didn't have the answers. I wasn't very skilled at giving the presentation. So that was difficult. So I stumbled upon an approach that I'm going to share with you, and because part of inviting is inviting to what, right? Inviting to what? Are you going to invite them to an event of some sort, online or offline? You can invite them to a tool of some sort, online or offline. You can invite them to sample your product. You can invite them to look at an article, whatever it happens to be. So let me just describe this to you. I'm going to use this board. I'm throwing curveballs at the guys. So, all right. So here was Eric. And I had a prospect. What I started doing was I would go to the prospect and I would ask the prospect to listen to me. And I immediately faced huge resistance, huge problems, because why should they listen to me? Why should they respect me? I was insecure. They could tell I was insecure. I was unskilled. They could tell I was unskilled. I didn't have a lot of success. They could tell I didn't have a lot of success. Even if I did have success, some of them didn't have success, so maybe I would intimidate them. You know what I mean? So going to the prospect directly and giving the information to that prospect, I had a trust relationship with the prospect, but I didn't have a respect relationship with the prospect when it came to business, when it came to making a business decision. So what I learned really fast, just from trial and error, is I needed to add a third party. I needed to use the trust that I had to introduce the prospect to a third party. And then the third party could provide the facts, the information, the credibility. There was more respect between, if I introduced the prospect to my upline, for example, who were successful, John Joyce and my father, my first step in doing this is I went to people I knew and I introduced them to my upline. And I let the upline give them the information because John Joyce was a millionaire, my dad, successful guy. They worked together. They were both in this business. And they would listen to my dad more than they would listen to me. They would trust the information. They would respect the information from John Joyce than they would from me. So I started to be a connector. You know, I had a prospect here and I had a tool over here, and in this case, the tool was my upline. I would be the connector between those two entities, prospect and information giver, right? So I would introduce the prospect to the third party, and then they would talk. And if the prospect had questions, if they asked me, I'd just say, oh, no, ask them. Ask this third party. Ask them because they can answer it better than I can. They're more successful than I am. So my first evolution of what I was inviting to was not to invite to myself. And I would give you that same advice. Don't invite to yourself. Invite to some sort of a third party, whether it's an event or a tool. And I'm going to list some of the things that are third party, and I'll just walk you through my kind of career. So stage one was I used my upline. I invited people to meet them. They were this third party tool. My upline provided the information, and I got some success. Way more success than I would have achieved if I tried to do it myself. Okay? Because I failed miserably trying to do it by myself. Second evolution is the company did a monthly event, a big event, what they called a regional event. And they did this event on a Saturday. It was 3 hours. They usually brought in an expert from the company or the top leader in the field. There's an opportunity presentation. There's a little training. Basically went from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on a Saturday. And I got a taste. Somebody told me, whoever invites the most people to this event is going to win. Okay? I still have a video of this somewhere. The guy who was on stage, his name was David Sage. He was one of the top distributors in the company at that time. This is 1988. And somebody told me whoever brings the most people to this event is going to win. So I pulled out all the stops. I called my family. I called my friends. I told my family, I need you to be there. It's really important. And I had a big group. There's like 1,000 people in the room, and I had, 60, 70 people that all I did was connect them to that event, right? So I connected all of those people to the event. And I'll never forget, David Sage says, who has the most people? And they did a little countdown. And I ended up being the one with the most people. And he had a $100 bill. He said, come on up, I'll give you a $100 bill. And there's an old videotape of me running up onto the stage and grabbing that $100 bill, waving it to the crowd and going and sitting down. But I got more success from bringing people to that event than if I was to try to talk to them personally. Why? Because that top earner was making a lot of money. There was a company representative there. I think the vice president of the company was there. I said, come meet the vice president of the company. Come meet this top earner. Come see what's going on. Come kick the tires. So I used my trust relationship to invite them to that third party. And it was an event. And then the third evolution was a weekly meeting. The leaders I lived in Minneapolis at the time, and the leaders in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin City area started doing weekly meetings. And see, my upline wasn't always available. They were busy doing real estate and other things, right? There was only this meeting once a month. But these meetings that they did happened 3 times a week. So I was like, well, if they're not available, every Tuesday night, every Thursday night, every Saturday morning, they had one of these meetings. Okay. So I'm just going to invite people to attend those. And I was going to go to my prospects and say, you got to check this thing out at the Sheraton on Tuesday night. Right? You got to check this thing out on Saturday morning at the Embassy Suites. Come on with me. I'll pick you up. Right? I'm going to give you a bunch of the invitation processes that I used in order to be able to get people to those meetings. But that was my third phase. And then the fourth phase was a video. The company came out with a video called Living the Dream. And it had some celebrities on it, and it was really cool. I mean, and it was $15 for one video. Now we have a link, just a link. But this is a video cassette, $15. And it was the best of the best, the top earners, and had celebrities on it. It was really cool. And I learned how to invite people. I went to my prospects, and now I didn't have to wait for the meeting to happen. I could invite them to watch the video. Pretty cool. So I got a video, and I ran around, and I played it for people. And I just shut up. Okay? Learned how to invite so they would watch it, and I just shut up. So the next thing is I scaled videos. I got 100 of them. I spent $1,500. A lot of money. But here's the way I looked at it. I could have 100 meetings going on every day. Again, I'm introducing prospects to a third party that has credibility when I don't. Okay? Next phase in my evolution was audio. It's a little different today because we have podcasts and things like that we can use, but back then we had audio cassettes. Anybody remember audio cassettes? Our company had this little audio cassette called a Career Choice. And we could buy those audio cassettes for 35 cents a piece. And I passed those things out like they were candy. Literally. I put my phone number on those things, and we taught everybody in our team to move out 100 of those audio cassettes in their first 7 days of joining the business to 100 people. Taught them how to invite so people would listen to it. And then 2 a day. Every day, put 2 in your pocket, put 2 in your purse, put 2 in your briefcase, and don't go home until those 2 are gone. And we moved out like 500,000 audio cassettes just in my team in 6 months. Had a huge success, right? So third party is so big, but now, this is an evolution. What are some other things? A website. social media, Zoom. A Zoom meeting you can invite somebody to. Right? The product can be a tool. Brochures can provide people with more information. You know, you have YouTube videos that can provide training, answer questions, a three-way chat or a three-way phone call with somebody else, right? Facebook groups. I mean, the list goes on and on. Here, I'm giving you some specific examples, but here's a short version. Anything that's not you. I'm going to ask you, when you get into inviting and presenting, to step out of the information business. You're better off to not give the facts. Let somebody else do it. Let something else do it. Let these things give the facts, because they'll respect and listen to these things more than they'll listen to you. You're going to get better results with these things than you are with you. Okay? Let me give you a couple examples. So, let's say you're 23 years old, you had 18 jobs, and you're talking to a 45-year-old successful corporate executive. Is there going to be some judgment in that conversation? Is it going to be hard for a 45-year-old to listen to a 23-year-old, no college education, 18-job kid? Super hard. So imagine that the presentation is behind me. You know, let's say the presentation is this circle, okay? That's the business. And I'm asking you, successful business person, to look at it. Can you see that circle? The answer is no. Why can't you see it? Because I'm in the way. You got to get out of the way. And point. Introduce and point. Introduce and read. Introduce and tell stories. Right? Introduce and watch. Don't make yourself the issue. Get yourself out of the frame. Get yourself way over here. And just to say, hey, go look at that thing over there. And if they ask you a question, stay out of the answer. Say, well, let's go find the answer. It must be on the website. Well, let's go find the answer. I think it's in that video. Well, let's go find the answer. I'm pretty sure it's in the comp plan brochure. I know I'm out of the shot. I want to be out of the shot. See what I'm saying? That's the point. Stay out of the shot. Because if it's all you, hey, I want to tell you about my business. La, la, la. They're going, this clown. Let's say you're a homemaker, right? Hardest job in the world. The whole world's waking up to that fact during this situation. But if you're a homemaker, is it hard for a corporate executive sometimes to listen to you as a homemaker? Yes. So get yourself out of the way and just say, hey, it's not about me. Go look at this thing. I want to introduce you to this person. I want to show you that, add you to this Facebook group. I want you to watch this Zoom or check out this video or attend this online meeting or try out the product. Take yourself out of being the issue all the time, okay? Here's a rule. Write this down. If your lips are moving, you need to be pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. You don't get to give the facts if you want to have success. It took me 2 years to learn this. 2 years of me trying to be the expert, because I thought if I learned all the answers, then I was going to be successful. If I could get really, really skilled at having all the facts for my prospects, then I could have success. But you know what I found out? If I'm talking to somebody from a different ethnic background, they can't hear it from me sometimes. When I'm talking to a different gender, they can't hear it from me sometimes. If I'm talking to somebody younger or older than me, more successful or less successful, they can't hear it from me sometimes. I need to get out of the way. Point, read, introduce, tell stories. Okay? So basically we're talking about, when it comes to third party, a tool or an event. You're inviting people to become educated from either a tool or an event. Two basic categories. Now that doesn't mean that you're never going to learn how to give the facts, but you're just going to get better success with your prospects. With your prospects. If you use a tool or an event. Okay? You're going to be inviting to one of those two things. Now later, tomorrow, we're going to be talking about presenting. And we're going to be talking about these different tools and events and doing the presentation in a way that works and duplicates. But we're also going to be talking about you becoming a tool for your team. You becoming the upline that they introduce their prospects to. It's okay for you to give the facts to your team's prospects, but just not your own. Make sense? You become the third party for your team. Just stay away from first party fact giving. Read, introduce, tell stories. Right? Pointing, reading, introducing, tell stories. If people ask a question, let's go find the answer. They ask you another question, even if you know the answer, don't just, I'm glad you asked that question. Nope, let me show you the answer. You understand? So, this is really big because so many people struggle because they're inviting to sit down with you and you become the expert fact giver, and it just doesn't hold much weight. It's hard. So, I would save you that pain. That's what 7 and 7 is all about, is to help you get past this, okay? This is going to take some practice. We're going to get where you need to go. But first thing I want you to understand is that your intention matters. When you're inviting, your intention matters. We are more like farmers than we are hunters. The amateurs in network marketing, they're walking around looking for prospects. You know, and if you've ever grown up in the country where they go deer hunting, the day deer hunting season opens, the deer know that they're being hunted. Okay? So everybody in network marketing, they're walking around, I'm going to get one, I'm going to get one. And the prospects are going, hey, I don't like how this feels. Farmers, on the other hand, they plant seeds, they're patient, they're caring, they're repetitive, they'll come back, they'll follow up, they'll pull the weeds out, they'll educate, they'll do what's necessary in order to be able to have a long-term result. So I want you to think of yourself more as a farmer than a hunter. And I talked about the goal. How do I get a new page without losing this one? Move up or over? This first? And then move over? Look at how cool this is. So cool. Our goal.
Wait.
Oh. I will. This one. Our goal is education. And understanding. That's our goal. And if that's your intention, you're going to win. You're not going to feel rejected. It's not going to feel weird. If your goal is to take every single person that you started with your list yesterday, and that's going to continue to be a living, breathing thing, every single person on your list, your goal is that they become fully educated on the value of network marketing, the credibility of your company, the validity of your compensation plan, the efficacy and power of your products. That's your goal, is to become an ambassador to educate the world on those things. you're good. You're good. So let me start by giving you some basic rules on inviting. Okay? Basic rules on inviting. Rule number 1. Rule number 1. Drop my fancy pen. Rule number 1. Be emotionally detached from the outcome. It's really important that you detach your emotions from the outcome. If your goal is education, stop being so worried. I mean, it's hard. I get it. When you join network marketing, you're just like, oh, man, I really want that person to look, and they don't even want to look. I really want that person to join me. Oh, if this person joined me, it'd just be unbelievable. And if they don't, you need to detach yourself from the outcome. The only outcome that you should be emotionally attached to is their education. That's the only one. Okay? Not their signing, not their joining. It's their education. Number 2, be yourself. Be yourself. It was fun. And look, I stepped into this also. I made this mistake also. I'd be my normal self, and then I'd start prospecting, and I'd get this different voice, and I'd start using words that I never use, and I'd be reading scripts that were not the natural way that I would say something. So be yourself, but be the best version of yourself. Okay? Be yourself, but be the best version of yourself, the brightest version of yourself, the shiniest version of yourself, the most optimistic version of yourself, the most excited version of yourself. Okay? But still be you. It's really important. Number 3, bring some passion. Even if you're introverted, I'm introverted too, but I could turn the passion on if I want to. And introverts, when you do turn on the passion, everybody stands up and takes notice. So bring some passion into this. Number 4, urgency. It's really important that you approach this with a serious level of urgency. That we need to do this now. We need to move now. I need to show this to you as quickly as possible. I need to introduce you to this person as quickly as possible. I need to show you this, have you watch this Zoom, or I need you to check out this Facebook Live, or whatever it is, the product. Urgency, urgency, urgency. People are attracted to people who are in movement, right? Who have some urgency. If you act like you got all the time in the world, it's going to be really tough. Number 5, strong posture. Strong posture. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I don't care what it takes, but you've got to, if you got to listen to some, is there a certain kind of music that's more helpful for you, that gets you pumped up? If there's a certain kind of music, listen to that music. If you need to skim through GoPro, or if you need to watch Rise the Entrepreneur to get your posture right about network marketing, watch an interview with Branson or Tony Robbins or whatever about network marketing, whatever it is, get yourself pumped up, but put your shoulders back, put your chest out. I'm talking about emotionally, right? Your posture needs to be strength. Your posture needs to be that you're doing a service to the world. Your posture needs to be noble and an ambassador for network marketing when you're going out there, instead of apologetic, because most people fail in the invitation process because they're apologetic. On a subconscious level, they're saying, gosh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but, if you have time, I know you're busy. And they're just apologize, 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 apologize. Instead of, I have something. And being solid with it. Next is believe in your product, your service, your company, your compensation plan. Building belief around those things is really important, and exuding belief of those things is very important. And finally, have an abundance mindset. Just decide that there's an unlimited number of people. Not everybody needs to join. Not everybody needs to be a customer. Now's not the time for everybody, and that's okay. Some people just can't see it. They're literally blind to it because they got some other drama going on in their life. Other people just, they're overwhelmed right now. They're emotionally freaked out. Who knows? Or they've been programmed since they're 2 years old against entrepreneurship. Who knows? You don't know. So have an abundance mindset. Your goal is education, not recruiting. Your goal is education, not sales. Your goal is education. Stay there, be an ambassador, and you're going to be good. A lot of people ask me, what comes first, the product or the opportunity? Where should I go? You know, there's this debate. Should I lead with the product or should I lead with the opportunity? I will tell you, recent big data has shown us that it kind of doesn't matter. An equal number of people join for the opportunity and stay for the product as join for the product and stay for the opportunity. There's a huge number of high income earners that came in just as product users. And there's also a huge number of customers that came in with the intention to build a business but decided not to. So it's about 50-50. So you got to decide for you what's going to be most effective. There's different companies and different opportunities that lend themselves either to a product lead or an opportunity lead. But I'm entrepreneurial. I just give you my bias of how I operate. Even if I'm leading with the product, I'm going to say, I gotta introduce you to this product, let you know about this product, but the opportunity this product creates is enormous. Because this product's so amazing, the opportunity created from the product is just unbelievable. So I always kind of blend the two. I always did. I'm not saying you have to. But what I want you to think about here is don't stress. Don't stress about which one should I do first? Am I doing too much product? Am I not doing enough product? Don't stress. So, what are we inviting people to? Right? A tool or an event. That's what we're inviting people to. And I want to show you just a brief clip that will kind of introduce you to different types of exposures like we talked about. Check out that clip and we'll be back.
Let's talk about the different types of exposures. What are we going to invite people to? What's the best? Is there a best? I'm going to give you my opinion as being a consultant to you. You can argue with this opinion if you want, but I'm going to give you what is the absolute most effective thing to invite somebody to, all the way down to the absolute worst thing to invite somebody to. Would that be helpful to you? Yes. All right. Number one, large company event. Number one, a big event. Whether it's local, regional, some big event where they're talking about your company, your product. Got 1,000 people in your city or a couple thousand people in your region. That's by far the most effective. You get people into an event like that, you get a prospect into an event like that, they have no shot. Their imagination is just going to absolutely be captured. They're going to see so much social proof of other people succeeding. They're going to see so much energy and so much credibility and so much power and so much influence. They're going to build relationships with other people there. It's super powerful. Super powerful. Now, the downfall of this is it's the hardest to invite to. It's the most effective, but it's the hardest to get people to show up. You ever try and invite people to, anybody? How many people have local meetings in your local area once a month or once a week or something? Big presentations at a hotel or whatever. Okay? If you invite 20 people, how many are going to show up? 1 or 2? 20 people you invited. 1 or 2 is going to show up. 3 or 4 is going to show up. Right? If you're brand new, depends on if you're influential or not. But I can't tell you how many good leaders I lost over the course of my career. They were excited, they invited 10 people, they all said they were going to be there. And those 10, they stood there at the door saying, I can't believe none of them showed up. I thought they respected me. Nope, not enough. But this is the most effective for sure. It's just hardest to do. Second most effective, small group. Home meetings, luncheons. I'm a huge fan of luncheons, by the way. As far as something to invite people to, huge fan of luncheons. It fits business people's schedule. It fits everything. It's just so great to be able to invite people. They get a quick lunch. You do a quick presentation. They go back to work. It's amazing. I love it. It's not done as much as I would recommend people do it, but that's okay. Take that for what it's worth. But how many people use home meetings within your company, within your opportunity? Home presentations. Okay? Many of you at home, I'm sure many of you. What I will tell you is those are also very effective. You still get social proof. You get some energy. You get some relationships. You meet some people. But is it easy to get them to show up or hard? Hard. And what happens after you invite somebody and they don't show up? Is it easy to re-engage them after that? No, it's tough. So we got to go through a lot of numbers in order to be able to get a result, right? But they work. When we get them in the room, it's amazing. Now, if you're highly skilled, you can do this. Or if you have a person willing to go through the numbers or they're influential, you can do this. This will get you results. Don't get me wrong. It's the second most effective presentation tool in the world. Third, face-to-face, like a two-on-one presentation. You and somebody in your upline or a friend in the business and a prospect. You still get a little bit of social proof because you have somebody else with you. It's not all about you. You got somebody else, third party, that can help with the presentation. That works very, very well. You will lose some people because they don't know the other person that they're going to be meeting with, so they might be a little intimidated by that. And you also may run into challenges with that other person being available. They're not available, so you're trying to figure out a way to make this all work, right? Anybody experienced any of those things? Yes. Are they effective? Answer is yes. They're very effective. But they have their series of challenges. They're the third most effective, but they have their limitations.
All right, what I want to do, I'm cutting that a little bit short just because I think we talked a little bit about events and tools already. And I can shorten this a bit and just kind of condense it for you. Events, online or offline, okay? All those that I just described are now happening online on social media and on Zoom. Two-on-ones are happening online via Skype, via Zoom. Three-way messaging on Facebook Messenger, all those different kinds of things. Those are all happening. So you've got tools, you have events. Events are going to be more effective. They're a little bit more skill needed in order to be able to get people to attend, but I'm going to teach you how. Tools are a little bit easier, but they don't quite have as much social significance as an event does. So I'm going to teach you both sides of that. And I want to teach you, like, if you'd like to learn how to more effectively get people to watch a video that you send to them, I'm going to teach you how to do that. If you want to set up a one-on-one or a two-on-one, or get somebody to watch a Zoom, or try your product, I'm going to give you some invitations that work very, very well that you can use with your own language, with your own personality, to not be stressed and actually go out there and get some results. Okay? So first thing I got to tell you is inviting got a lot easier in the last several years. And what ended up happening was, when I started off in network marketing, that's going to sound like, when I went to school, I walked to school every day, that kind of thing, in the snow, blah, blah, blah. But I was trained to make friends with your phone, tape your phone to the side of your head, duct tape it to your head, and just start dialing for dollars. Tick, 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 dial for dollars, dial for dollars, dial for dollars. And in the last 5 years or so, then everything changed. Everything changed. So I want to show you a brief clip from a previous event that kind of describes that change. And then I'm going to teach you how to use this as a tool more effectively than ever before. So check it out.
Today it's much easier. There's some tools and things you can do today that make it a lot easier to protect your emotions. Because it's so personal. Hey, would you take a look? Not interested. Okay? Hey, would you try my product? Go away. Stop bothering me, kid. The phone, feeling like it weighed 800 pounds. Back then, my leaders taught me to dial for dollars. Just dial for dollars. As soon as the phone hangs up, start dialing. Get the next one on the phone. Get the next one on the phone. Get the next one on the phone. If you go through enough numbers, you're going to win, kid. And guess what? My hunger was enough to keep dialing when I was scared out of my mind. And thank God I got a little sliver, a tiny little bit of success early, and that's what kept me dialing. Because if everybody said no and I didn't get any check, I don't know if I would have kept going. So the phone, teaching people, and I've taught people for years. If you read GoPro, I give you 8 steps to making a phone call. That's the reason why I'm rewriting GoPro, because nobody talks on the phone anymore. About 3-4 years ago, everybody decided they were done talking on the phone, unless it was an appointment. Totally true. Remember, you used to get a phone call, it's like, oh, phone's ringing. I wonder who it is. It's like, you've got mail. Oh. It's like, now you got mail. Blah. But the phone's ringing. Remember, you used to have those custom dial tones or the ringtones? You have your favorite song playing. Yeah. People turned that stuff off years ago. We don't tell you to turn your phone off in here anymore because none of you have the sound on. It's been on silent for like 3 years. Now you call somebody and they go, oh, rude. They're calling me. They didn't even text to see if I was available. Right? Now listen, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in network marketing, the greatest thing. Because if I told this row, hey, going to change your life. You hungry? Yes, I'm hungry. You ready to go? Yes, I'm ready to go. Here's a little script. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick up your phone and I want you to call 100 people. And they're going to say, oh, yes, I'm going to do it. Oh, yes. They'll lie to you in this business. Oh, yes, I'm going to do it for sure. Oh, this is amazing. I'm going home and I'm going to do it. And then you call them up later. They call 2 people. One goes, boo, and it's over. Within like a handful. Guess who they're calling? The ones with the most potential. And when the ones with the most potential don't say, yes, yes, I'm ready to go, they go, oh my gosh, this feels heavy, this feels hard. And all their procrastination muscles kick into gear, and they say, later, later, someday, maybe. I tell them to call 100. How many of this row is going to call 100 people? Even if they're hungry by themselves? Oh, we used to have to do trainings where I would sit with you, and we would call the 100 together. Scare them to death for like 3 hours. And the greatest thing in the world now, other thing is true. Somebody under 30, anybody under 30 here? Under 30. If you call 100 people right now that are not your very close friends or family, how many of the 100 are going to answer the phone? Literally zero. That's the new reality. They're not close friends and family. Family's going to be like, is something wrong? Are you okay? Most are not going to answer. Let's say 10 answer. 90 you leave voicemail. How easy is it to schedule an appointment or an exposure on voicemail? Extremely difficult. Now, If you send a text message to the same 100 people, how many of them are going to respond? I don't even care what you say. Or how many of them are going to respond? 97? We've created a culture where it's kind of rude not to respond, especially when you see they read it. You read and you didn't respond. What a jerk.
Yeah, remember when everybody just called everybody and that was our normal way of doing things? We don't do that anymore. So let's get into this. I've given you kind of a bunch of emotional setup here, but let's get into the actual training piece of this. And that is to say, our goal is what? Education and understanding. That's our goal, education and understanding. Second principle I want you to understand here is all business is conversation. You need to be in conversation with people, and I'm going to teach you how to skillfully be in conversation with people in a way that helps you get more results. But most of you need to be talking to more people than you're currently talking to now. So I want to give you a challenge, which is, I call it the 100, 250, or 1,000. I want you to, depending on your ambition, I want you to start conversations. If you're a beginner, you're scared, with 100 people. 100 people. Just go on your phone, start the people on your list from yesterday, start conversations with those 100 people and ask them about their life, their family, their work, their fun, their health, their dreams, whatever. Have a conversation and just connect with those people. Beginner levels 100, intermediate levels 250, and superhero levels 1,000. Okay? Now, in that conversation, will an opportunity come up for you to be able to educate people as to what you have? Yes, if you use third party. So right now, we're mostly using either tools or online events, yeah? So I want to give you one great little phrase to bring up at some point in the conversation. Ready? Here it is. Have you heard the news? I want you to ingrain those 5 words into your head. Have you heard the news? They say, well, how are you doing after you talk about all this stuff? Then you throw in, have you heard the news? Well, what news? Well, our company, it's just going crazy. The products that we have, people are crazy for them. They're excited about it. The company's experiencing unbelievable growth. Remember I told you I was going to start that little home-based business? Well, I started it. And man, am I glad that I have a way to be able to earn from home. And just talk. Have you heard the news? Man, our company's experiencing unbelievable growth, expanding around the world. They're helping average people to be able to create above average incomes. I mean, it's just extraordinary what's happening with our product or with the company. Okay? This have you heard the news helps you transition this conversation into something where you can educate based upon their answer to have you heard the news. Understand? So, I will tell you, is this conversation going to happen on the phone, or is it going to happen, via text message, SMS, private message, direct message, or is it going to happen on the phone? Probably mostly text message, SMS, direct message, private message on one of the platforms, mostly. But if it carries on and it expands, and then maybe it switches to the phone, and that's fine, to an actual phone call. That's fine. Either way is fine. But you can, the reason why I like text so much is people will actually do it and they're not going to be intimidated. They got time to think about the answer. They can do all that stuff. Just don't jump into this right away. Build some rapport, build some connection, tell some stories, talk about what's going on in your life. And then you can come in with have you heard the news. Now let's say you're inviting to a tool. I'm going to give you a simple process to invite somebody to actually view some sort of an online tool, okay? An actual process, step-by-step process for you to be able to get people to actually do it. Because I remember when I had the video cassette and I was running around trying to get people to watch, or here was my evolution. Hey, I have this videotape. I really need you to see it. And they're like, okay. And, please, watch this for me. And they'd never watch it. It just would never happen. So I tried all different kinds of things, and I finally landed on a simple 4-step process where I could get 80 to 90% of people to watch a particular video. Let's say we're inviting somebody to watch a company video online, okay? I'm going to give you a simple 4-step script to be able to do that. Now, assume in this conversation, I also want you to put a compliment of some sort, and I also want you to have a little bit of urgency. Not like you don't have all the time in the world. So a compliment, make sure in every conversation you're complimenting them about their mindset, about their vision, about their attitude, about their adaptability, whatever it happens to be. Compliment them on something. Let them know you don't have all the time in the world, but you really wanted to connect and it was exciting for you to connect. If you act like you have all the time in the world, it's not that attractive. Okay? So you could say, have you heard the news? You complimented, you had some urgency, you had this conversation. Then it's 4 questions. You can say, listen, there's an online video that's 15 minutes long. Let's assume yours is 15 minutes long. That explains this so perfectly well. And it's the reason why so many people are getting involved and having so much success and enjoying it so much. Question number 1. If I, would you? Here's what I mean by that. If I give you a link that takes you directly to this video presentation that's changing so many people's lives, would you watch it? Now, this implies reciprocity. The reason why this works so well, if I said, please watch my link, please. Here, I'll send it to you, please. Or I won't even talk to you, I'll just send you the link. Please watch this. Oh, it'll mean the world to me. It's a little different. It's like, if I give this to you, I'm not saying I will, but if I gave it to you, would you watch it? And I wait for the answer. And guess what you're going to get most of the time? Yes, because you're willing to give something first. If I give this to you, will you watch it? You're going to get yes like 90% of the time. Okay? 2. When do you think you could see it for sure? See, because if they say, if I just do step 1, and I've tested all this stuff, If I gave you this link, would you watch it? They're going to say yes. Are they going to watch it? Maybe 10% chance. They're going to go right back to busy. It's a nonsense yes, right? So if I say, great, when do you think you could see it for sure? They're like, oh, Now they got to go into their mind. They got to think, when do I have 15 minutes? All right, and they're being asked this question. I haven't given them the link yet. When can you see it for sure? I'll see it by tonight. Fantastic. So tomorrow morning you'll have seen it for sure, right? If I give you this link, would you watch it? Yes. When could you watch it for sure? By tonight. So if I called you tomorrow morning, you'll have seen it for sure, right? Now they're going, this is no joke. Yes. What's the best time for me to reach out and connect with you to find out what you thought about it? Tomorrow morning, right? What time? Want me to just text you? Want me to call you? What do you want to do? Oh, text is fine. What time? 10 o'clock. All right, fantastic. Here's the link. Then I give them the link, and I'll talk to you tomorrow at 10. See ya. Bye. Now, I by using these 4 steps, I went from 10% people watching my video to 80% of people watching my video. You can use it with product. Let's say you have a product sample. If I gave you a sample of my product, would you use it? Yes. When would you use it for sure? By such and such a time. So if I called you after such and such a time, you'll have used it by then, yes? Yes. All right, what's the best number and time for me to call? You get the time and number. All right, fantastic. Got to go. Bye. Okay? Anything that's current. I mean, if I sent you a podcast that explained what's going on in this side of this company, would you watch it? If I sent you this recording of this Zoom call that the CEO of our company did, would you view it? See what I mean? So this is inviting to a tool. This works extremely well. Extremely well. If you've built a little bit of rapport, you've complimented them with some urgency. Listen, I don't have a lot of time, but I do really want you to understand what this is. If I sent you this link, would you watch it? When could you see it for sure? So if I called you after that, you'll see it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? Now, go through that process. You're not going to get them all. You're going to call some of them tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock and say, what did you like best about that link I gave you? What did you like best? What was your favorite part? And some are going to say, I didn't have a chance to see it yet. I thought I was going to, but life got in the way. And then what you do? That's okay. When do you think you could see it for sure, for sure? Oh, by Sunday. So if I called you on Monday or connect with you on Monday, you'll have seen it for sure by then. All right, fantastic. What's the best time for me to talk to you on Monday? All right, bye. Here's a link. I'll send it again in case you lost it. Bye. This simple little 1, 2, 3, 4 changed the game for me. Changed the game. Okay? So if you just have conversation, what you're going to want to do is to educate the person as to what it is that you have. Okay? Let me give you some examples of the in a hurry stuff. I talked about urgency here. I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was really important I reach out to you. I've got a million things going on, but I'm glad I caught you. I'm running out the door. You're not running out the door anymore. I'm running from the kitchen to the living room, but I need to talk to you real quick. Now isn't the time to get into this, and I've got to go. But I want you to know that. See this course, the inviting, the gateway skill. This long form course is available inside of GoPro Academy to all of you with all of the scripts, every single aspect on top of what I'm giving you here today. to be able to go and move forward. Let me give you some examples of compliments. Okay? Think of something. I'm just going to read these to you, and they're included inside of this PDF scripts workbook. This is all available to you. You've been wildly successful. I've always respected the way you've done business. Or, you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. Or, you're one of the most connected people I know, and I've always admired that about you. You're the most or one of the most important people in my life, and I really respect your instincts. You've got an amazing mind for business and can see things other people don't see. I was thinking, who are the sharpest people I know, and I thought about you. You're one of the most positive and energetic people I've ever met. Some people are closed-minded when it comes to looking at opportunities, but you're open-minded. I love that about you. I need somebody to find holes in something that I'm looking at, and absolutely nothing gets past you. You're one of the smartest people I know. I really trust your judgment. Stuff like that. Anything that you respect about them, find a way to compliment them about that thing. And they'll become more open to what it is that you're doing. So, scheduling, you're going to try and build an appointment. Now, can you build a one-on-one? You're going to either an appointment for them to watch a tool, and then you're going to follow up with them, or to come onto an online event, or to have an online connection, maybe with you and your upline via Skype or via Zoom, have a little online coffee. You're just going to be inviting them. If I could get this other person together and the three of us could have a cup of coffee and explain it better than I could personally, would you be willing to jump on Skype for 15 minutes and have a coffee? Right? So with this, I want to, before I talk about hot market and customer and distributor prospects, I want to give you, and I strongly encourage, and Sandy, can we put these inviting documents, are they in there already?
They're not.
All right, put those documents into this so it's just easy for them to just download it here. So you'll have all of these scripts and all these documents. But what I want you to understand is there's 3 different kinds of invitations. Invitation number 1 is a direct approach. Okay? Now I want you to be thinking about people on your prospect list that you can approach directly. And I'll explain what that means in a moment. Then there's an indirect approach, which is kind of like in the side door. Front door, direct approach. Side door, just like, oh, by the way. And back door, which is super indirect. So a direct approach is used for people that know you, trust you, respect you, and will listen to you. And some examples of this are, look, when you said you're sick of your job, tired of working for somebody else, were you serious? You're just kidding around. I was serious. Well, I think I got to wait for you to be able to do that. If I would you. Right? I think I found a way for us to be able to really boost our cash flow. I found something you really need to see. I'm launching a new business. I really want you to take a look at it. When I thought about people who could make an absolute fortune with a business I found, I thought about you. You still looking for a job or a different job? I found a way for both of us to start a great business without all the risks. Have you ever considered working from home? Now is the time to do it. All of us need to find a way to be able to work from home. We need to talk. If I told you there was a way to increase your cash flow without messing with what you're doing right now, without screwing up or jeopardizing your family, would you be willing to take a look? I found something exciting. You're one of the first people I've called. You're one of the most important people. When I thought about people who I wanted to work with, I thought about you. So, there's tons more. But that's direct. You get the feel? So you have some urgency, you've got a compliment, you go direct approach, boom. And then you go into if I would you set it up. Okay? Indirect approach is for people who don't necessarily look up to you, but they're your peers. Maybe they don't, totally respect, not like, I don't believe there's higher and lower, but there might be an influence, right? If you're a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to influence, you're talking direct approach to 6s, 5s, 4s, and 3s. The 7s, you can't really use, if you can't talk to another 7 with a direct approach because they're like, hey, I'm successful too. Come on. Right? You don't get to talk to me like that. You got to be a little bit more respectful, a little bit more indirect. Okay? You can even talk to 7s and 8s. When you get to 9s and 10s, you got to take a different approach. Because I tried the direct approach with successful people and they just laughed at me. Hey, I got something you need to see. They're like, kid, come on, really? So I learned, here's how I learned. When I first got started, I took my dad's address book and my mom's address book and I was calling all their friends. And I learned that flattery has to be over the top ridiculous before anybody objects to it. I learned that if I played myself down and I played up to other people's egos, I could get them to look. So here's what I would do. I'd call like one of my dad's friends. I'd say, Mr. Johnson, I'm so glad that you were able to take a minute of your time. As you know, I'm a young kid. I've gone through a bunch of different jobs. I'm trying to find my way in the world. And when I thought about the friends of my parents that were very, very successful, really smart, had so much wisdom and knowledge and experience, and could maybe help me to find my way in the world, I thought about you. Because I've always respected you as a business person. And I found a business that I think is a good fit for me. But what do I know? I don't have the experience you have. If I made it easy on you, Mr. Johnson, and I brought you the information and I shared it with you, maybe 15 minutes of your time would just be worth everything to me. And you could look at this and tell me if you think I'm making the right choice, if you think the company's for real, if you think the product is solid, it would mean the world to me. I found that the Mr. Johnsons of the world would clear their schedule. They were so honored to finally be recognized by some, they wanted to be part of some kid's little story. So they would literally drive across town. Where do you want to meet, kid? All right, fine. I'll take you under my wing. I'll show you this stuff. And you know what I found out? What I was asking for is an indirect approach. Is I need your advice, your wisdom, your guidance, your experience. And it doesn't always have to be, I'm just starting. I'm looking to expand my business in this particular area. I got involved part-time and I'm looking to really ramp it up. I need your advice, your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, your wisdom. Would you give me your input? Would you be willing to try the product to tell me if you think it's for real? And here's what I found out about people who think entrepreneurially. If you lay it out to them, say, here it is, Mr. Johnson. If you lay it out to them and they look through it, they're not looking at you, they're looking through it. An entrepreneur can't help but connect the dots. If they watch the video, they can't help but say, this kid, maybe he found something. Kind of interesting. And then I could introduce Mr. Johnson to my dad or my upline or tell him, the big shot from the company is coming to town at our big monthly thing, and I told him about you and he wants to meet you. Could you clear your schedule to come meet him? Because he'd really like to meet you. Sure. So indirect was just amazing. I ended up doing most of my recruiting indirect. Most of it. Asking for advice, support, wisdom, knowledge, experience. Worked incredibly well for me. And And then there's the super indirect approach. And this is people that are so successful that they will, just their ego will not allow them to listen to you. So what you need to do with those people is remove them as prospects. So here's what I would do with the super indirect. And there's all these scripts for direct, indirect, and super indirect inside of this document that we're going to post in the thing. And you can also find inside of this Inviting Gateway Skill course that's inside of GoPro Academy. For super indirect is you need to disqualify them for the business. You call them up, you thank them for their time, you compliment them like crazy because they need it and they love it. And then you say, look, I know you're not a prospect. I wouldn't even consider you looking at this as a business. But I also know that you're very influential. I also know that you know a lot of people. And if you knew some money-motivated, ambitious people who could take advantage of the timing situation that's involved here, bring their influence to bear, and you could help connect them to this company, I can find a way to make it worth your time. I'm sure you're successful, but I'm sure you weren't able to take everybody with you on your journey to success. There's some people that you probably really believe in that just need an opportunity. If you can help connect, and again, so before they're going to do that, they're going to want to know what it is that they're connecting. And then you just introduce them to it as them as entrepreneurs. They might start sending you people, but they're going to tell you, and I've had this happen many times, before you go put any of those into that structure of yours, we need to talk again. Because they're going to want to have a spot. They're going to want to make sure that because every business person in the world, guess what they're interested in? More cash flow. More cash flow. So direct, indirect, and super indirect. Now, let's talk what to say when it comes to inviting your hot market, your 10 easiest customer prospects, and your 10 easiest distributor prospects. Then a few more things and we'll wrap up, okay? All right. Hot market. Remember I told you yesterday to make a list of people who love you, support you, but are normally going to be a little bit critical of you. Hot market. I want you to think of 3 things when it comes to hot market. No pressure, practice, and support. Okay? Here's how you're going to invite these people. You're going to be inviting them to be your customer of your product or service, not a distributor. I would highly encourage you to disqualify them from the opportunity, at least in your initial approach. You're going to get great results from this, I promise. Tell them, listen, your support means the world to me. The fact that you're my brother, the fact that you support me, you've got my back, you're in my corner, means the world to me. And I've started this business, and I'm really excited about it. And don't worry, I'm not going to try to recruit you. Not going to. But it would mean the world to me if you would support my business and be a customer of my product for 1 month. Just try the product that I have and give me your feedback on it. It costs $50, $80, $150, whatever it happens to be. Would you be one of my customers for 1 month to support my business? It would mean the world to me. Virtually everyone will say yes. And what is our job? Education and understanding. What will that product experience help them become? Educated. They'll understand your product. If they like it, they'll continue. And you let them know, hey, if you like it and you want to keep using the product, I will help you continue to use the product. I'll show you how to be able to get it at the best price. And if you don't, I'm never going to bother you about it again. Just consider that the support you're giving me now is enough, and I'm really grateful. Okay? So that's one, is ask them for their support. Use this hot market approach. Ask them to be your short-term customer. If you have a service, be a customer for a month. You can cancel if you want. If you have a product, be a customer for a month. Find your highest impact product, have them be a customer, ask them for their feedback. You actually use the product. Because you know what? If a family member or close friend came to me and said, "Will you support my business, be my customer for a month?" I don't even care. I won't even care if I use the product or not. You know how many sets of Cutco knives I've bought from nieces and nephews? Because they asked, "Uncle Eric, can I come over and do a presentation?" And I know what's going to happen. They're going to cut the can in half, and they're going to cut the rope in half. They're going to show me this incredible, butcher block full of knives, and I'm going to buy one. I bought a ton in my lifetime. If they come over and says, "Hey, we're selling Girl Scout cookies, would you buy some cookies?" Of course. The American Samoas, please. Unlimited supplies. They're so good. Thin Mints can just get lost. I don't care about Thin Mints. But the American Samoas, so good. You know why I know they're good? Because I tried them. Once I tried them, you don't need to sell me anymore. They just need to be available. So, the support approach is absolutely essential for you to be able to go and get some customers and get support of your hot market. Number 2 is the practice approach. You can go to your brother and say, "Hey, listen, I just got involved in this business, and don't worry, you're not a prospect. I'm not interested in you joining my business at all, but I need a friendly face. I need somebody to practice on. Can I practice on you? Can we jump on FaceTime? Can we jump on Skype? Can we jump on Zoom? Can I just do my little pitch and just give me some feedback?" And if you ask them to practice, they're going to hear the story. If they're entrepreneurial, they're going to start connecting the dots. Even if you took the pressure off, you just disqualified them from the business. So no pressure on the business side for hot market. The practice approach, I need a friendly face, and the support approach. Use those for you and every brand new person who joins your business, and your life gets easy. Super, super easy. And if you have a tool that needs to be part of that process, you just say, "Hey, if I gave you a link, if I sent you the tool, if I invited you to the thing, would you participate? When could you do it for sure? So if I called you after that, you've done it for sure, right? What's the best number of time for me to call? Fantastic, I gotta go." Okay, talk to you after that. Now, inviting your 10 easiest customer prospects. 10 easiest customer prospects. I want you to think about people for inviting basics. Think about this for a brand new person. Who are the people that can afford your product without even thinking about it? I want to help you get fast results. Who are the 10 easiest? Who are people that you've supported in the past? It's their turn to support you now. Who's people in your hot market that will do it just because they love you? Who are the places where you're spending money right now that you can ask them to be your customer because you've been their customer for a long time? I tell the story a lot. I had this insurance agent, and I went to him and I said, "Look, I'd like you to be my customer." And he said, "Yeah, I just don't do that." I said, "I've been your customer for 5 years. I'm asking you to be my customer for 1 month." He said, yeah, just not interested." I said, "You understand, I can get my insurance anywhere, right? It's kind of rude. You're not willing to be my customer for 1 month when I've been your customer for 5 years?" He said, "Yeah, sorry, I just don't do it." So I literally went across the street. There was an insurance agent across the street the same day. And I walked to that insurance agent and I just said, "My insurance agent across the street was not willing to be my customer for 1 month in exchange for my business for 5 years. So I decided to walk away and find an insurance agent that would be willing to be my customer for a month. Would you be willing to be my customer for a month?" He said, "How much?" I said, $80. He said, "Okay." I had a customer. Where are you spending money? Ask those people to support your business. Not forever. If any family member asks me to support their business for a month, I'm in. It's not for 1,000,000 years. It's not on a perpetual auto ship. It's just to try it. Done. Fine. If I like it, I'm going to keep using it. I use so many network marketing products right now. You know why I'm using most of them? Because I tried them at some point and I like the results. I keep adding to that. I mean, we have a menagerie of products, as you can imagine, inside this house. On the 10 easiest distributor prospects, what I want you to focus on is people who are hungry, Who are the 10 hungriest people you know that will get past their limiting beliefs? The 10 hungriest people you know that are open to opportunity and they're not egomaniacs. The 10 hungriest people you know that are coachable and willing to work. Start with those 10. Use these approaches that we talked about and dive into this course. Inviting the gateway skill. The program transcriptions in there, workbooks in there, and the videos in there in order for you to be able to move forward on this. This is going to take a little plan, do, review. This is going to take a little practice in order to be able to do it. But if you want to be successful, whoever talks to the most people wins. I need you to go back into how many conversations you're going to start, and then ultimately, your calendar is your boss. Show me your calendar. How many appointments do you have scheduled? How many Zoom calls do you have scheduled? How many 2-on-1 Skype calls do you have scheduled? How many FaceTimes do you have scheduled? How many follow-ups do you have to get back to because you invited somebody to watch a video or watch a webinar or watch whatever? How many follow-ups do you have? Where's the follow-ups on your schedule? Show me your calendar, show me your schedule, and I'll show you the future of your business. Don't fly by the seat of your pants. Decide to get serious about this. Now listen, I do this naturally because I've been doing it a long time. This took me a little while to master. But even these simple steps, I want you to practice these, understanding that you never lose. You never lose. Either you win or you learn. You never lose. Either you win or you learn. You're going to get better or you're going to get smarter. And even if you put yourself in a potentially embarrassing spot, you're going to learn from it. Don't take yourself so seriously. Just decide that most of the learning is in the doing, and you've got a foundation now to be able to get out there and have more conversations with more confidence. Okay? So there's more that you can study, but that's where we're going to end it today. We've got an hour and 22 minutes. I hope you got value from this. Tomorrow we're going to go into presenting, which really supercharged my business when I got that piece figured out. We're going to get into presenting tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But until then, know that I'm proud of you. Know that the world needs you. And get into the study and the practice of becoming a network marketing professional. 2 skills in to the 7 skills in 7 days. I'll see you tomorrow for skill number 3. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.